Well, you might want to buckle up for this one because today I want to share the 6 things that I stopped doing to go from part-time YouTuber to 6 figures. And I'm also going to share one thing that I started doing early on that essentially paved the way to 6 figures. If you're new here, my name is Meredith Marsh, and I'm here to help you look good, sound good, and feel good on camera. And lately I've been really digging into some of the behind the scenes businessy stuff of YouTube and online business, because there's a lot of people out there talking about what they do in their business, how it does run, what does make it successful, but there aren't a lot of people talking about the things that they don't do. And here's why I think this is important. There are a lot of invisible components to a successful business, and that includes a successful YouTube channel, a successful online business. And if you're anything like me, you observe what people are doing and you say, oh, maybe I should do that too. But then you never really observe that they stopped doing that at some point. The reality is you can't see what you can't see, and you don't know what you don't know. So I want to share some of these things with you. And I have a mind map. Again, I am loving this mind mapping software. So I have this all set up here. Number 1, this is going to be probably the most obvious thing. I stopped treating my YouTube side hustle like a YouTube side hustle. So at some point in the last 9 years, I started thinking about and learning from successful businesses outside of the online business space, outside of the YouTube space, and started kind of emulating how do they operate, how did they grow. There's a concept that is like build the business that you want to have. Don't work on the business that you currently have, build the business that you want to create. And I just sort of like shifted my mindset out of side hustle mode and into like full hustle mode, or, full business mode. The second thing I stopped doing in my business to reach 6 figures was I stopped reinventing the wheel with new courses and products. And I'm kind of like looking at that, laughing, going, did you really stop doing that, Meredith? And yes, I do create new courses, new programs every once in a while. But for the last few years, I've really only just been evolving my existing offerings rather than creating something completely new from scratch. And full disclosure, as I record this, I have like at least 3 new things in my head that I'm planning to start planning for, new courses, new programs, and tweaks to my existing stuff. It's always an evolution. But something that I talked about in one of the early episodes of the Video Brand Infusion podcast was how when I first created my first course, I thought that it was awful. I thought that it was a failure, and I scrapped it completely and then started something totally new. And then I thought the second thing was a failure, and I scrapped it and started something new. And then I thought that was a failure. And it wasn't until I learned how to look at the numbers correctly that I realized that what I had created really wasn't a failure. I just was looking at it wrong. And I wasted a lot of time thinking that things weren't working, and then going back to the drawing board, reinventing the wheel and starting from scratch again, when I could have just made some tweaks and kept going and maintained some momentum in terms of like sales and revenue early on in my business. I'm all for evolution and tweaking and making improvements. But creating something, scratching it completely, and then starting from scratch over here it gets really tiring really quickly. And most of the time, I think for me, and so I think probably for a lot of people, most of the time what you thought was a failure really wasn't. You just needed to tweak it and keep going. So number 3, what do we have over here? Focus on multiple revenue streams. Yes, I talked about this in episode 6 of the Video Brand Infusion podcast. Are you building a business, or are you building a YouTube channel? I have stopped focusing my efforts on multiple revenue streams in my business. And let me just make sure I'm super clear on that. I still do affiliate marketing. I still get ads from YouTube. I'm not going to turn off my ad revenue. But what I focus on, what I'm focusing my time and my energy and what helps me make decisions about what to create on my channel comes from my own courses, programs, digital products, offers, because those are the types of revenue streams that I have the most control over. And they're the most fun and interesting and fulfilling because I get to talk to people. I get to have conversations and help people, in a more like one-on-one kind of way. And last year when my channel was hit with the invalid traffic bug and I had a couple of affiliate programs that just decided not to do their affiliate program anymore, I was like, why don't I just focus on the things that I do have the most control over? That's what I did. And my business revenue skyrocketed. Now, of course, I still advocate for affiliate marketing. I think affiliate marketing is the fastest way to start generating revenue, even with a small audience. I think ad revenue is the easiest way because you just have to show up and make videos. I'm choosing to focus on the revenue streams that I have the most control over and I'm getting the most fulfillment out of, personally myself. So number 4, I stopped waiting for a magical milestone, like 100,000 subscribers. If I could just tell my younger self and anyone else with a smaller YouTube channel, like 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 1,000 subscribers, there is absolutely no correlation between the number of subscribers you have and the amount of revenue you can generate in your business. And you've probably heard that before. I know I heard that before, but still there was something in my brain that was like, yeah, but I don't have a silver play button yet. Who cares? You don't have to have 100,000 subscribers or followers on any platform to make over $100,000 in your business. There's zero correlation. And I think just the little tiny mindset of yeah, but I don't have that big of an audience. Yeah, but that person has more subscribers than me was enough to keep my brain thinking small. And to be totally for real with you, if you're in my membership, Thriving Creator Society, you know this, because at the beginning of the year, I set a goal and I had an actual plan. I have an actual plan to reach 100,000 YouTube subscribers. I was like, if I can start out doing this, this, and this, I have a plan. I knew exactly what I was going to do, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to reach 100,000 YouTube subscribers this year. It's just a numbers game, right? And I have not really been executing on that plan. You want to know why? Because if I create the kind of content and at the speed and the type of content that I had a plan to create to reach 100,000 subscribers, I would not be focusing on the revenue streams that bring in revenue to my business. And so there was a point where I was like, well, I need to make this kind of content over here because this is where I get my leads. This is what grows my business. This is what generates revenue. But my plan to grow the channel is telling me to make content like this. It's all within the same niche. It's all within the same spider web in the same YouTube channel. But the focus and the intention of those topics is just a little bit different. It's just different enough that I could see which one would I rather have at the end of the year, to continue growing the business revenue-wise or to have a plastic silver play button on my wall. I mean, you can't send your kid to college with a silver play button, so I think you know the choice that I made. Number 5, ooh, yes. I stopped following what I see others doing and focused on the end result business, like the shape of the business that I wanted to create, what I wanted it to look like in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. Because everything that you're doing today, everything you do today to make videos, to do your business, to do all the things that you're doing is literally building what you're going to have in the future. And there was a time where early on when I started my channel, I followed somebody really closely who I was trying to emulate the way that she was running her channel and the way that she was running her business. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I love the idea of modeling somebody that you see as successful and being like, okay, I'm just going to set my stuff up like they're doing. That's great. Like, that's wonderful. But the person that I was modeling started to kind of veer off in this other direction. And I remember kind of feeling like, what exactly am I doing? Like, what am I building here? I didn't really have a path to follow. So one of the things I was really conscious of at that time was asking myself, what do I want to build? What is the business model that I want to build? How do I want to show up in my business every day? And this wasn't like the flip of a switch. I was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing now. It's more like a refinement over time. So for example, sometimes people that I follow decide they're going to put on like a digital retreat or an online summit or something like that. I don't want to really do either of those things. I'm very careful to make sure that I'm sticking with the model that I want to build, with the shape of the business that I want to create in the future, rather than seeing what other people are doing and thinking that somehow I should be doing that same thing too, without even realizing like what's really going on behind the scenes and whether what they're doing is even successful for them. So what do I have for number 6 down here? Oh yeah, I stopped Frankensteining my business from a bunch of free content on the internet, which is funny to say because obviously what you are consuming right now is a piece of free content on the internet. There is no shortage of free content on the internet. But one of the things that I noticed early on was that I might follow somebody, somebody successful, listening to their podcast or watching their videos, and they're saying, do this, this, and this. This is how you grow your business. And then I might listen to somebody else and they're saying, do that, that, and that. That is how you grow your business. And they're saying, this doesn't work, and that guy's saying that doesn't work. And this goes a little bit towards like watching what other people are doing and kind of like emulating that instead of just figuring out what is the shape of the business and like what is the business model that you really want to create, that you really want to grow, and just start like doing that. It sounds so simple. For me, one of the most helpful things has been learning the actual strategies and systems that people use. And usually the experts, the web celebs don't share their systems and their strategies in their free content. They're creating free content so that you can invest in their program where they share those systems and strategies. And I do the same thing in my business. I share a lot of free content. I think I give a lot of value for free, but I also want to work with people in, a deeper way. That's why I create courses and programs and work with people one-on-one. Once I kind of figured out the business that I really wanted to build, that I really wanted to be successful at, I invested in Business by Design with James Wedmore. So he has the strategies for making sales, for generating leads, creating courses, programs, and offers that people actually want to buy. And way back when I was an itty bitty little YouTube channel online business, I recognized that I had no, almost had to bleep that out. I had no flipping idea what I was doing when it came to sales. It didn't come naturally to me. And so I was creating content and creating courses and programs and trying to Frankenstein these things together. And it wasn't really working at the level that I wanted it to be working. I wanted to be generating more revenue in my business from the time that I was putting into it. So I learned about sales and messaging and marketing and all of those systems and strategies from somebody who's been there and done that through James Wedmore and Business by Design. You might resonate with somebody else who's been there and done that. But if you're only ever just like consuming the free content and not investing in the resources that they're creating to help you along the way, then I think for me, again, from my perspective and my experience, it creates this Frankenstein effect where this person says do this and this person says do that. And you're like doing a little from here and a little from there. And they can kind of like counteract each other. They can sort of like work against each other in a way. So for me, like I said, I chose somebody who's been there, done that, and whose like personality I resonate with, I guess. And it's been extremely impactful to going from YouTube side hustle to six figures. A lot of the systems and how all of the like gears and the pieces of a successful online business fit together are things that James covers in the Rise of the Digital CEO series. And since that's coming up soon, I will put a link to that down in the description below. And also, since I'm an affiliate for Business by Design, I'm putting together a YouTubify your business by design bonus that I'm pretty excited about, and I don't want you to miss out on that either. So now you know the 6 things that I stopped doing to go from YouTube side hustle to 6 figures. You might be wondering, what is that last thing on there? What is the thing that I started doing at the very beginning of my business that I hope you all start doing right now today? And that is start building your email list. If you're like wincing and you're like, I don't do email, nobody cares about email, this is something that I don't really talk about that much here on my channel because my channel is not about email marketing. But I told you at the beginning of this video that I was going to share some of the invisible stuff that goes on in my business. I shared about the things that I stopped doing. The email marketing, if I stopped doing that, my business would probably be, like the revenue would probably be cut by like 80%. I think it's going to be probably cut by 80% if I lost out on what I'm doing in terms of email marketing. And if you think it's too complicated, you're overthinking it. I promise you're overthinking it. And I talked about this a little bit, I think in episode 6 of the Video Brand Infusion podcast. Your list, your leads are the link between your YouTube channel and the revenue that you want to generate with your own programs, courses, even services, anything that you're offering online. Your list and your leads are the link. And if you start building your list when you have a small channel, or really now would be the time to do it, then your future self is going to be so grateful that you have a way to actually connect with the people who want you to show up in their inbox. It's not just about making sales. It's not just about email marketing and sales. It's about cultivating a community and a connection with people. If you're only ever uploading videos and building an audience, then you're always going to end up being like a victim of the algorithm, right? Because you don't have any way to reach your audience unless the algorithm lets you reach your audience. And having an email list has actually helped my YouTube channel grow because there's 2.5 billion users on YouTube. When you open up YouTube, you're bombarded with all of these options. So I always send out an email the next day after I post a video with a link and a little blurb, like, go watch my new video. So the people who found me on YouTube to begin with don't like forget who I am, because the algorithm doesn't show everything that you create to everybody who wants to see it all the time. And as much as I say YouTube is the most powerful way to build your audience online and build your list and generate consistent sales of your online offers, the whole algorithm component of it can be very frustrating. And having your own email list is the antidote to that. So if you've been sleeping on building your email list as you build your audience and build your online business, I have the perfect resource for you, and I'm going to link it down below because, like I already mentioned, my business mentor, James Wedmore, he's pumping out a lot of really great resources right now, and he has this free mini course called Your First 100 Leads to help you build your list, because especially if you have a YouTube channel and a YouTube audience already, you're not starting from scratch, but you might be starting your email list from scratch. And if you intend to generate sales in your business from your online offers, you need to have the right people on your email list. I binge the 100 leads training every single year. I'm going to do it again this year because I have a whole new freebie that I plan to create, and I wouldn't do it without the processes that James outlines in the 100 Leads program. So I will link to that down below. That's completely free. And I'm also going to link up my video over here about, are you building a business or are you just building a YouTube channel? Because I think you're going to love it.